Okay, we are now out in my garage where all the magic happens, and I've taken this clip cord apart, but because this is so flimsy and cheap, I've decided that I'm not even going to try to reuse this part. If you can, if you're going to reuse something, get one of these clip cords. It's a lot easier to replace and make better. So pretty much this little piece of plastic came out of here, and the only thing that was holding this to the wire was this tiny bit of solder on the end of this. So one good yank and that clip cord would have been toast, and you would have had no clip cord, which I've always said, if you have cheap equipment, always have an extra set or a spare. That way if something breaks, you can get a new one and use it, and you won't be stopped in the middle of a tattoo. So I'm just going to get rid of this flimsy garbage piece here, and what I'm going to do though is reuse the plug. And with this, all I had to do was yank this cord off, and I had a plug that I could use. So I'm going to use the plug from the cheap cord, and I'm going to use this from another cord that I scavenged. Now, I'm going to show you something really important. Hopefully you can see it. This is really crusty right here where the wire is exposed. And if you're using your tattoo machine and you're tattooing away and you turn your hand a little bit and your tattoo machine turns off, and you wiggle it around and your machine turns back on, and then while you're tattooing it turns back off, and you got to hold it at a certain angle so it'll work, it's probably because your clip cord is starting to go bad. And you're getting a connection, but if you move it loses connection. So the reason for that is you're getting this erosion here from the air. The oxidation on this wire is actually eroding this wire, making it fall apart. So super important thing to do when you make this is put this OxGuard antioxidant compound on that once you're done soldering it. And if you have a cheap clip cord and you can, you know, take the shrink wrap or whatever off and then make sure you put that on there and then put some shrink wrap on, it'll probably make your clip cords last a little bit longer. Usually cheap clip cords will last about a year, and then you have to get a new one if they last that long. Usually about a year, and then you got to replace them. And it's probably for this reason. So if you do them correctly, they'll probably last you a lot longer. You won't have to replace the clip cords as much. Alrighty, so I need this piece back. This is just some speaker wire. I'll reload the video if it's not on there how I made this clip cord. Now what I'm going to do is, this would work, but this is a smaller gauge wire. You can see with the better tattoo equipment they use this thicker gauge wire, which works a lot better. But you know, this is going to be a cheap clip cord. I'm not going to put a lot of expensive stuff into this. So I'm not going out and buying some new cord. I'm not spending a lot of money on this. I'm still going to make it so it works better, but all I'm going to do is replace it with this thicker gauge speaker wire that I ripped out of my car when I redid the stereo system in the car. And this is a lot thicker. You'll see it'll work a lot better. Okay, so I need this piece back, so what I'm going to do is put a little tension on this and heat this up so this will pop off of here. Once the solder turns into liquid form, If you pull on it a little bit, it will come right out. You know, oxidation, which is, you know, the chemical reaction that metals and things have to oxygen, which is typically rust or corrosion like this, it's like the enemy of tattooing. Makes your machines rust. If you use bleach or alcohol on your machines, it speeds up that oxidation process. It makes this kind of stuff happen faster, and it kills your machine. So don't use bleach or alcohol on your machines. Use a maticide germicidal solution and then let it dry. Don't let it stay wet, especially with bleach. If you're using a really strong bleach and it's not diluted, it speeds up this process on your machines. So oxidation really is oxidation really is a problem when it comes to tattoo equipment. So think about that. Alrighty, this is going to be a real easy process. I'm just going to take this cord and I'm going to solder it back in here. And if you want to see the video I did on how to make clip cords, it's got a lot of good information in there. It'll take you through this whole process. You can watch that. This is just going to be real short. This is more about how to improve your tattoo kit, not how to make clip cords. So watch that video and you can get a lot of good information on how to make your own clip cords or fix the clip cords you have. So I'm going to solder that back together, and then I'm going to throw a little shrink wrap on it, and then I'm going to do two different colors. I'm going to use the red for the positive side, which what you do is the bottom of this that touches the outside is the ground or the negative. Your little one right here is your positive. So if I hook up this blue cord to the positive, I know that's my positive side, and I'll put this colored shrink wrap on there, because that way I will know which way is positive and negative on my clip cord, and then when I hook them up to my machines I can hook it up correctly.